Schizotypal personality disorder. What is it and what you can do about it to better deal with this condition? That's what we're talking about in today's video. So hello everyone, my name is Autumn Masterdal and I'm a coach to help you live your best life and find your true purpose. And you can schedule a free consultation over at autummasterdal.com/coaching. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the personality disorder that is called schizotypal. Enjoy the video. Schizotypal personality disorder is a type of disorder in the cluster A odd personality disorders. It is classified by eccentric thinking, behavior, and/or appearance. Someone who has this condition will usually appear odd and weird to the general population, with strange ways of thinking, behaving, and dressing. Generally, people can tell right away based on how the person presents themselves and acts, but sometimes it's not so obvious. These people are often outcasts in society, with very little, if any, people to relate to and be friends with. It's hard for them to make friends since others may not be able to understand their motives or thinking, be unable to relate, or the person may have paranoid ideas that prevents them from trusting others. There are some aspects of schizophrenia with this disorder, but it is a separate condition. Some overlap may include inappropriate emotional response or lack of emotions, delusions and paranoid thoughts, misinterpreting situations as having significant meaning for them, and odd mannerisms, thinking, and behavior. With schizotypal, the condition may be less severe than schizophrenia, and people may be able to realize some of their delusions. But the issues are still problematic for the person as they're unable to relate to people and often do not have friends and live a lonely life. Schizotypal personality disorder has the word schizo in it, and that's by design because it is on the realm of schizophrenia. It's not exactly like schizophrenia. There are many differences between schizophrenia and schizotypal personality disorder, but this type of condition is often described as someone who is odd, eccentric. They may dress weird, they may have odd, weird beliefs, they may have very little social interactions and friends, they may not be able to relate to anyone, and they may just seem a bit off to most people. So we're all different, we're all unique in how we are, but there's still some sort of commonality when it comes to how we all form. Where schizotypal personality people kind of go outside of that, and they are even more different than most people are. This condition will usually form during childhood, as that's when the mind begins to develop. Abuse, abandonment, and odd family dynamics will cause someone to think this is normal and develop odd thinking. Over time, the individual may realize they are different from the overwhelming majority of people, as it's hard for them to relate to others, make friends, and have appropriate emotional responses. This causes isolation as the person feels more and more alone, like they are the only ones dealing with this problem. This is when it's important to seek appropriate help, to learn, to come to terms with this condition and accept themselves. If you're dealing with this condition, then the first place to begin is to realize you're not alone. Being isolated from others, unable to relate, isn't necessarily a bad thing. It may be hard to connect with most people, but there are some out there that understand your struggles and will accept you for who you are. Just because you haven't met them yet doesn't mean they don't exist. It just makes it harder to meet authentic people when you hide yourself. This is another tip for being able to meet others, and that is accepting yourself for who you are. You may view yourself as weird, but is that a bad thing? No, it's not. So accept it, embrace it, and realize it's part of you and what makes you a unique individual, different from everyone else. You may have creative ideas and you can make something unique that others will love. Embracing yourself and your weirdness will attract the people into your life that will love you for who you are and accept the things that make you weird. Once you accept, the doors open for you as other problems such as depression, loneliness, and anxiety will fade away as you venture forth into expressing who you truly are. Let me know how this works for you. Have a great day. Schizotypal personality disorder is actually the condition that I was diagnosed with. And that is because I have a lot of strange thinking and beliefs. It's very hard for me to connect with people. It's very hard for me to have proper social interactions with other people, I can seem very awkward, seem very weird. And it's not so much social anxiety, because I really don't have that social anxiety anymore. It's just on a different realm of, it's just harder for me to connect with people because I am so different, I have very different beliefs than them. But here's what I have found that has greatly helped me, and that is being able to accept myself for who I am. I have to realize this, number one, that I am not alone, that there are plenty of other people who deal with these sort of conditions, that there are plenty of other people who have similar or even, more bizarre beliefs than I do. But I shouldn't be shunning myself, thinking that I'm an outsider or an outcast just because I have something that makes me think different from most people. Instead, I have embraced that. I realize that I am different, and that is a good thing to be different, because it's the people in this world that are different that make the biggest impact, that are able to shape and change things that everyone else who just follows and complies is not able to do. So I think outside the box at all times. I question everything, and I have beliefs that would be probably the most strangest things to the vast majority of people. But I embrace who I am. I embrace my weirdness and my strangeness, and I don't shy away from expressing it because of what someone else may think about me. If someone else thinks that I'm weird or strange, oh well, who cares? I'm not focusing on that anymore because it's not important anymore. Be sure to check out the amazing merchandise over at Asphodel Shop for some inspiring designs. I'm sure you'll find something amazing. Also become a member. $5 up and above will get you early access to new content months before it is publicly available to anyone else. And I want to thank you also very much for tuning into this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. Let me know if you have this disorder and how you deal with it, because it's a learning experience for all of us. So maybe you have different techniques, different ways of dealing with it. I'm really curious to hear it, because we could all use some sort of help to help us deal with all sorts of conditions that we have. So you all take care, have a great one, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.